You're watching WJCT Moore, Jacksonville.
The school board of the Duval County School District is now convened in a special meeting. I wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone present at this meeting of the Duval County School Board. The Duval County School Board is here to set policy for the district that will improve student achievement. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. It is not the role of the board to make managerial or operational decisions. The board has policies and procedures in place to assist the superintendent in resolving management and operational issues. As a show of courtesy and respect to each other, we ask that all mobile phones be turned off and that no flash photography be used during the meeting. For those wishing to address the board during our comments from the audience portion of the board meeting, please note that we only accept the speaker cards until 5:05 p.m. Thank you for taking the time to join us this afternoon and for your interest in the operation of Duval County School District. Board members, I invite you to stand for a moment of silence and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Pursuant to Board Policy 2.26, board members may attend board meetings and participate and vote through the use of interactive video and/or telephone systems. That the Duval County School Board approve the participation of board member Darrell Willie via telephone system.
Move approval.
Moved by Vice Chair Anderson,
Second.
second by Board Member Joyce. Any discussion? If not, I call for your vote. By your action, you approve that item 5-0. Board Member Willie, are you there?
I am here.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. That the Duval County School Board approve the July 28th, 2020 agenda as submitted on July the 24th, 2020. Ask for your motion.
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Anderson, second by Board Member Joyce. Any discussion? If not, I call for your vote. By your action, you approve the agenda item 6-0. Public comment. We are now on the public comment portion of our agenda. Those wishing to address the board must fill out a blue speaker's card. The school board welcomes your comments on matters that are before the board for consideration. It is not the board's intent to respond, but to use the input in our deliberations. To give everyone appropriate respect and courtesy, please refrain from audible comments or applause. When you come to the microphone, please state your name for the record. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. When the green light is in front of you in front of me starts blinking, you will have a minute remaining. When the light turns yellow, you will have 30 seconds remaining. When it turns red and the buzzer sounds, your time will be up. If your concerns exceed that time, you may present written comments to the board. You are asked to refrain from references to specific individuals and to follow expectations for civil discourse. Please remember that speaker cards were only accepted up until 5:05 p.m. when this special meeting is open. Thank you for taking your time to address the board. Vice Chair Anderson.
Our first speaker this evening is Chris Guerreri.
Chris Guerreri, good evening. Normally this time of year I would be at a Shrimps baseball game. Does anybody here like baseball? When the Shrimps decided to cancel their season, we're disappointed. I understood they were doing so because it was not safe. The thing is, I bet some people would have rolled the dice and went to the games anyways. But still the Shrimps said no, that even though you may want to risk yours and your family's lives, we're not going to let you do so. Some families and even a few teachers want to go back to school too. They don't believe in the virus or science, or some have other reasons I don't understand. But just because they want to make the choice to go back doesn't mean the board should let them. Heck, we do not let children without vaccinations come to school, but somehow sending kids and staff during an out-of-control pandemic is a good idea? Would we let those teachers and students bring guns or drugs to school and shrug our shoulders and say, well, you know, that's their choice? Of course we would not. The reason I mentioned the Shrimps is because I am sure everyone knows what has happened with Major League Baseball and how an outbreak with the Marlins has curtailed their season. Major League Baseball, friends, we don't have nearly the resources that they have, and they lasted for 4 days. We didn't put in place the things that they put in place, and they lasted for 4 days. And I have a list of the things that they did, which I will leave for the board. How long will it be before schools close? 4 days, a week? Which means we will have risked lives for what? The board still has the time to do the right thing. You have a choice, and that is to keep people safe or to risk lives. I challenge you to make the right decision. Last spring, we got the email to start Duval homeroom on a Thursday. We were given just 4 days to get it up and running. I did not think it was feasible. Many of my colleagues did not think it was feasible either. But you know what? We made it work. We made it happen. If we could flip the switch in a weekend, imagine what we could do if we had over 3 weeks' notice, what we could accomplish. Also, people think going to remote learning now is unfeasible. What's going to happen when we have to start closing schools? I do not believe putting people in danger should be an option, so I wanted to give the board and superintendent some challenges. I challenge you to keep everyone safe. If we go back to in-person learning and people get sick or worse and schools close, it will be your responsibility. It may not be fair, but right now the buck stops with you. You can decide, keep people safe or risk people's lives. I also challenge you to go to virtual learning until it is safe. People said it was not feasible last spring, but we made it work and proved them wrong. People right now are saying that you don't care about teachers. I challenge you to prove them wrong. Will you accept these challenges? I have a list of the things that Major League Baseball put into place, and I'd like to leave it for the record. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is John Turner. Mr. Turner, I see here that you are here to speak on the public hearing. This is not the public hearing, but you're welcome to speak in public comment and or the public hearing at that time.
Did I get the date wrong?
No, we will. The public hearing that you're here to speak on is agenda item number 3.
That starts at 5:05.
We are in public comment now. You're welcome to share your comments or wait till public hearing.
I'm here for the public hearing on the budget.
Thank you. Thank you. Our next speaker is Kristen Mosley, followed by Carrie Burke-McLeod.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Mosley. I am the parent of 2 high school students at Douglas Anderson, and I'm also a teacher at Inglewood High School. I just want to let you know that I personally have enrolled my children in Duval homeroom because I'm scared to send them to school. And I'm scared for the teachers. I'm scared for myself. I'm scared for the teachers at DA. And I'm hoping that you will take into consideration the health and well-being of the teachers, the students, their families, and everybody that will be impacted by their return to school. I also wanted to kind of piggyback on what Mr. Guerreri said. We did manage to make virtual learning work in March when we had just 4 days to make it work, and I think that we could certainly do that again. I know that there were some problems, and we can address those too if we have the chance. So I do know that it's a hard decision for you guys to make, and I just hope that you will take it upon yourself to make the decision not to open schools and to start virtually for the first 9 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. And our final speaker, Carrie Burke-McLeod.
My name is Carrie Burke-McLeod. And I've been a teacher for 3 years, but also for longer I've been a martial arts instructor. And as a martial arts instructor, I've been kicked in the groin by people of all ages. I've been punched in the gut. I've been hit in the face. But the hardest blow that I had to take came earlier today. Yesterday I had heard, it was Ken Amero's report about the possibility, well, maybe we could do the first 9 weeks of virtual learning. And that was the first true stroke of hope and excitement and relief that I had felt in a very long time. And then a little bit earlier today, I think it was before noon, maybe around 11 or so, we said that was unfeasible. The school district said that was unfeasible. And, you know, for me in martial arts, I kind of equate that to like a fake. Sometimes we'll aim for the head and then we'll do a quick fake to the body, and that's how you get that point. It felt like I was faked out, and it hurt a lot. And I think if we're talking about unfeasibility, what's unfeasible is, in my mind, are when promises are made and then they're broken. For example, we're going to have shield protectors on all the desks, but then it shifts to, well, only K through 8 or only 3 through 8, and then the high schoolers, they'll do their own thing. To me, that's unfeasible. But also, I don't know who to be mad at. I'm mad at the school board in the sense that we've advocated for code of conduct violations, class 2 or 3 with masks in there. And I think there was a comment made before about insubordination, and that's the class 1 referral. When the kid gets sent to student services, they come back to the classroom with a lollipop. We can't do that. We have to be more serious here. And in terms of having teachers work from home, there was a resolution that was presented, and I express gratitude, not appreciation or recognition, but gratitude for that. But I think at this point, I'm also mad at the city council and the mayor for making your jobs difficult, and I just want to show appreciation in terms of recognition for that. I understand those kinds of pressures as well, but please understand our pressures too. In terms of our lives being at stake, we can make up learning. You haven't seen my VAM numbers, but I'm good, I promise you. But please, 9 weeks, even 3 weeks, won't make that much of a difference. We can make that up, but we can't make up those lives. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. This public hearing is called to provide the taxpayers of Duval County an opportunity to provide input into the adoption of the 2020-2021 budget. This agenda item and the next two agenda items deal with the adoption of tentative proposed millage levies for the operating budget and the capital outlay budget. Dr. Green?
This hearing is the first of two public hearings required under Florida statutes to provide the public an opportunity to give input into the proposed millage levy and the budget for this fiscal year. This hearing was advertised in the Florida Times-Union on Saturday, July 25th, 2020. The second meeting will be held on Wednesday, September 9th, 2020 at 5:05 p.m. at the School Board Administration Building, 1701 Prudential Drive, Dr. Charles H. Klein Auditorium, and the notice of that meeting to the public will be through a direct mailing from the Property Appraiser's Office. The proposed millage rate for the School Board of Duval County, Florida for this 2020-2021 school year is 5.9050 mils, a decrease of 0.2450 mils, 3.98% from the 2019-2020 millage rate of 6.1500 mils. The total millage rate to be levied is less than the rollback rate of 5.9205 by 0.26%, which means that the average taxpayer in Duval County will pay 0.26% less in school taxes this year.
Thank you. Public hearing is now open on the tentative millage rate. You had one speaker, I think.
Mr. Turner's here to speak on capital outlay.
Are you here to speak on the capital outlay only? Okay. Seeing no one here, public hearing is now closed. Vote on the required local effort millage levy of 3.6570 mils, which includes no required prior period funding adjustment
Mr.
levy.
Chairman,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I think the capital outlay vote comes next, so this would be the time for the speaker for the public hearing, if I'm reading the script correctly. So if you could take the public hearing comment, there isn't another opportunity.
Okay, I'm sorry. Come on down. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, school board members, Superintendent Green. My name is John Turner. After attending school board meetings off and on for over the last 10 years, I've seen a lot of changes. But what has not changed is the school board's repeated refusal to do an independent audit of your budget. Because of that, I stand here in opposition to yet another wasteful increase in property taxes in the form of capital outlay. This year, you are demanding that the taxpayers of Jacksonville hand over $114 million, which is a 6.5% increase over last year. As a reminder, capital outlay is additional revenue above and beyond what is required by the Florida Department of Education. Most people think capital outlay is restricted to repairing old schools or building new ones. However, the school board can spend the money on all sorts of things, including new computers and new cars. Another thing most taxpayers don't know is just because you list an item on your wish list, it doesn't mean you actually have to spend the money on it. For example, last year the ad said that the additional revenue was needed to purchase 60 new vehicles. However, under your latest financial report, I cannot find a line expenditure for just how many new vehicles were purchased, let alone who got them. Yet this year's ad repeats the same need for 60 new vehicles. This is much more than false advertising. This is fraud, and it's been going on for a very long time. Keep in mind, over the last 10 years, $1 billion of extra revenue has been obtained through capital outlay property taxes, and not once did the school board conduct an independent audit to see how the extra funds were spent. Whenever I point that out and take a seat, someone on the school board will break their own policy regarding public comments to say I'm wrong. That the school board does audits all the time. Yes, but when was the last independent audit of capital outlay? May I have a copy of that? And please don't point to the operational audit by the Auditor General, because that is not the kind of audit I'm talking about. Even so, the Auditor General, who does not physically count the number of school buses, couldn't help but notice the school board paid for the operational expenses of 27 school buses that you didn't even have. The report went on to say this was not new. This was a repeated offense and could be interpreted as a violation of law unless the school board restored the funds back to capital outlay. If 27 fake school buses doesn't justify a call for an independent audit of capital outlay, please tell me what does. Seeing that this current school board can't be trusted to properly spend $114 million in capital outlay, why should the taxpayers now trust you with an additional $2 billion from the half-cent sales tax? The short answer is they can't.
Thank you. Public hearing, that item is now closed. Vote on the required local effort millage levy of 3.6570 mills, which includes no required prior period funding adjustment millage for the operating fund. Ask for a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Anderson, second by Board Member Joyce. Any discussion? If not, I call for your vote. Thank you. By your action, you have approved the required local effort millage levy, including no prior period funding adjustment of 3.6570 mills for the operating fund by a vote of 6-0. Vote of the basic discretionary operating millage levy of 0.7480 mills for the operating fund. Ask for a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Anderson, second by Board Member Joyce. Any discussion? Seeing none, I call for your vote. By your action, you have approved the basic discretionary operating millage levy of 0.7480 mills for the operating fund by a vote of 6-0. Vote of the capital outlay millage levy of 1.5000 mills for the capital projects fund. Ask for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Vice Chair Anderson, second by Board Member Joyce. Any discussion? If not, I call for your vote. By your action, you have approved the capital outlay millage levy of 1.5000 mills for the capital projects fund. The second part of this public hearing deals with the adoption of the tentative budget for the 2020-2021 school year. Dr. Green.
The board is requested to adopt the 2020-2021 tentative budget and to certify the adoption by resolution. The tentative budget is as follows. 1. General operating budget in the amount of $1,220,839,921. 2. Special revenue budget in the amount of $240,110,535. 3. Debt service budget in the amount of $98,001,085. 4. Capital outlay budget in the amount of $166,706,977. 5. Trust fund budget in the amount of $55,020. 6. Internal service budget in the amount of $227,659,494. 7. Enterprise Fund budget in the amount of $1,029,247. Total tentative budget, $1,954,402,278.
Public hearing is now open. Mr. Turner, do you want to speak to this item too? No speakers. Public hearing is now closed. Vote on 2020-2021 tentative budget. Ask for a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Anderson, second by Board Member Joyce. Any more comments? If not, I call for your vote. By your action, you have approved the 2020-2021 tentative budget. Vote on resolution number 20-01. Dr. Green.
Resolution adopting the 2020-2021 tentative millage rates. Resolution number 20-01. Whereas the School Board of Duval County, Florida did, pursuant to Chapters 200 and 1011 Florida statutes, approve tentative millage rates for the fiscal year July 1, 2020 to June 30th, 2021, and whereas at the public hearing and in full compliance with Chapter 200 Florida statutes, the Duval County School Board adopted the tentative millage rate for the fiscal year 2020-2021 in the amounts of required local effort, including no prior period funding adjustment. Tentative millage levy, 3.650. Proposed amount to be raised, $279,395,845. Discretionary operating, tentative millage levy, 0.7480. Proposed amount to be raised, $57,147,414. Capital outlay, tentative millage levy, 1.5000. Proposed amount to be raised, $114,600,428. Totals, tentative millage levy, 5.9050. Proposed amount to be raised, $451,143,687. The total millage rate to be levied is less than the rollback rate at 0.26%. Now therefore be it resolved that the Duval County School Board adopted each tentative millage rate for the fiscal year July 1, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. On July 28, 2020, by separate vote prior to adopting the tentative budget.
Public hearing is now open on that item. Seeing no hands, public hearing is now closed. Ask for a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Anderson, second by Board Member Joyce. Any more discussion? If not, I call for your vote. By your action, you have approved resolution number 20-01. Vote on resolution number 20-02. Dr. Green.
Resolution adopting 2020-2021 tentative budget. Resolution number 20-02. A resolution of the Duval County School Board adopting the tentative budget for fiscal year 2020-2021. Whereas the School Board of Duval County, Florida did, pursuant to Chapters 200 and 1011 Florida statutes, approve tentative millage rates and tentative budget for the fiscal year July 1, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. And whereas the Duval County School Board set forth the appropriations and revenue estimate for the budget for fiscal year 2020-2021, and whereas at the public hearing and in full compliance with Chapter 200 Florida statutes, the Duval County School Board adopted the tentative millage rates and the budget in the amount of $1,954,402,278 for fiscal year 2020-2021. Now therefore be it resolved that the attached budget of the Duval County School Board, including the millage rates as set forth therein, is hereby adopted by the School Board of Duval County as a tentative budget for the categories indicated for the fiscal year July 1, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. Dated at Jacksonville, Duval County, Florida, this 28th day of July, 2020.
Public hearing is now open on that item. Seeing no speakers, public hearing is now closed. I ask for
Move approval.
moved by Vice Chair Anderson, second by Board Member Joyce. Any further comments? If not, I call for your vote. By your action, you have approved resolution number 20-02, 6-0. The third part of this public hearing deals with scheduling a public hearing on the final millage levy and final budget for the 2020-2021 school year. Dr. Green.
That the Duval County School Board schedule a public hearing on the final 2020-2021 millage levy and final budget for the 2020-2021 school year for Wednesday, September 9th, 2020, at a special board meeting, which will begin at 5:05 p.m. at the School Board Administration Building, Dr. Charles H. Klein Auditorium.
Public hearing is now open. Anyone here to speak to that item? Seeing none, the public hearing is now closed. Moved by Vice Chair Anderson, second by Board Member Joyce. I'm sorry. Any discussion? If not, I call for your vote. By your action, you approve that item 6-0. I think I'm missing something. Vote on the final public hearing date and time for the 2020-2021 final millage levy and the 2020-2021 final budget year. Final budget. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Anderson, second by Board Member Joyce.
Is that what we just did?
Have I missed something?
That's what we just did.
What was the last recorded vote?
We should be at the bottom of page 13.
I think we already voted on that.
Yeah.
The hearing
We
date.
already read the resolution.
We've already voted on that.
Out of order.
So you should be at the top of page 14.
For a public hearing to the proposed
The
millage.
last part of the public hearing deals with the acceptance of the 2020 certification of school taxable value for Duval County, Form DR 420S from the Duval County Property Appraiser, and authorize the superintendent to complete and execute the form. Dr. Green.
That the Duval County School Board accept the 2020 certification of school taxable value for Duval County, Form DR 420S, from the Duval County Property Appraiser, and authorize the superintendent to complete and execute the form.
Public hearing is now open. comments? Seeing none, the public hearing is now closed. Vote on the acceptance of the 2020 certification of school taxable value for Duval County and authorize the superintendent to complete and execute the form.
Move approval.
I ask for your motion by Vice Chair Anderson, second by Board Member Joyce. Any discussion? If not, I call for your vote. By your action, you have approved the 2020 certification of school taxable value for Duval County, Form DR 420S, and authorized the superintendent to complete and execute the form. Public hearing is now closed on the budget. For the record, Ms. Board Member Willie, you have anything for the record?
No, I'm good for today.
All right, thank you. Board Member Joyce?
Nothing today.
Hershey? Vice Chair Anderson? Don't have anything? Board Member Grimes? All right, thank you. Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Board Member Joyce, second by Board Member Hershey. Seeing no hands, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed by your action. Meeting's adjourned.